Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joni if you're new here, and I'm going to be showing you step by step how to paint this pretty winter landscape. So I've got a 12 by 16 primed canvas and a large blending brush or stipple brush here. It's kind of soft, and I'm just going to use this to blend all those colors around together and create a very soft pastel background. Then we're going to come in with a little bit of burnt sienna and black. So the colors we're going to be using today, other than those two, are titanium white, blue turquoise, neon yellow cool, neon pink, and neon violet. Of course, you can use other variations or similar colors to these ones if you don't have them. I'm going to get my brush a little bit wet. And I'm just going to start by taking yellow first. And I'm going to apply the paint by pulling it around with the brush and making soft circles like this. This is just going to help me get a nice blending. Then I'm going to take white. And right into my pink. And I'm going to apply it partially over top of that beautiful yellow. Get a little bit more water on my brush, some white, more of that pink, and just start coming in from up here. And I'm going to take a little bit of white and my blue turquoise, and I'm going to start in this section down here on the bottom left, and then I'm going to work my way up into part of that yellow. Take a little bit more white. Now see, as I come up over top of that coral and the pink, we're creating all sorts of different shades and tones. I'm going to take a little bit more yellow with that turquoise and white. So many pretty soft colors. Sometimes if you're not sure what to paint, you can just start by making a background like this. A little bit more of that turquoise now, and we'll start building up to our violet that we're going to add. I'm going to go into that violet now. And maybe just pull right into the leftover pink. Just washed off some of that paint and got a little bit of white on my brush. Now we'll create some softer tones and be able to blend a little bit better. Now, I've got a number 12 flat brush. I'm going to get it a bit wet, and I'm going to just come in with a little bit of black, burnt sienna, and also some turquoise. That makes a really nice color. And I'm just going to start pulling back and forth where I want it to look like it's far away. Going off towards that light, I'm going to make shorter strokes and just use the tip of my brush like this. When it starts to obviously dry out, you just want to get some more water and kind of wiggle to get those bristles nice and tight again, and just pull and slide into that paint. I'm just going to come over to this side. And I want it to just sort of disappear down here. I like that. So I'm just going to take a little bit more blue and white. And then just go over that again. Oops, I need a little bit more white. Have it just, yeah, I like the way it starts to just disappear. It looks a little bit more fantasy-like. And then pull down a little bit off of those areas, just a little bit to give a reflection in the water. Okay, now I'm going to start painting some trees, and I've got a number 2 round brush. I'm going to use those same colors, turquoise and with a burnt sienna and a tiny bit of black. I'm going to start one from here, kind of wiggle, and we're going to go right off the canvas, making the base of the tree just a little bit wider. I'm going to pull a few little branches here and there, making sure that I have the paint on the tip of my brush. And then a little bit of moss hanging. And we'll just build up the sides here. Just taking those same colors and adding low little half circles. Okay, I'll make a few more trees. Go have one that comes right down here. Make it a little bit thicker. Gotta be brave, guys, and just go for it. Gets addicting when you start to become a little bit brave and just take a dark color and pull a big tree across your painting. So notice that when I run out, I want to go back to my palette, twist and pull, and get that paint back on the tip of my brush. I'm just going to warm this up a little bit because we've got that deep bluey gray, blue charcoal color. And already when I add this burnt sienna over top, it changes everything. It looks so complementary with any little bit of turquoise, blue, purple that we've got going on. It's a nice balance. And I'm adding it not to cover up all of that charcoal blue, but just to accent it and so that they complement one another. And just pick a few areas here where I'm gonna add some more moss hanging. Now I'm gonna go over to one of my favorite brushes that I love to use for foliage and branches and leaves and moss and all that kind of stuff. This is you guys see me use this quite often. It's my 1-inch oval mop brush by Princeton. And I'm going to take a little bit of that burnt sienna and turquoise that I've got left, a little bit of black. And I'm going to start coming in down here and adding, just need to get it a little bit tighter, so I'm going to wiggle and push. Just start adding some branches here, a little bit more leaves and stuff on these branches to give them a little bit more life. And I'm going to take some of this blue turquoise here. I just had to reload my palette. And we'll tap lightly over here. Let's add a little bit of white this time. And mix all those up. A little bit more. And then we'll add a little bit over top. We'll add some low-lying bushes here in the background, giving this some distance. Balancing out with our shadows. Okay, now I'm going to come over to this side and take that burnt sienna with my blue turquoise and a little bit of black. I want this to have more warmth to it, so I'm going to use a little bit more, warm it up with that burnt sienna. I think I'll just start coming in right about here. I'm going to take some white. And we'll add some more highlights. Looks so pretty, just a little thin layer of that smoky color we have just lightly over that purple. We'll add some trees back here. Just little taps. And then come in just a little bit more of the black, a little bit less white, a little bit more of each of those colors with less white. I'm not sure what kind of tree this is going to be. I'm just kind of going with being intuitive right now. I'm just enjoying the use of this brush. It's very relaxing. Okay, I'm going to go back over to my number 2 round. And this is going to be a winter painting, so I'm not even going to have a tree trunk there, like running through the tree. Just have a little, maybe just a little indication here, and then I'll be adding more and more highlights, increasing it up to build it up to snow. And then I'm going to come in. I'm just deciding right now. It's going to be maybe a birch tree or some oak tree. So reloading my brush often. And just pulling out for little branches here and there. I'm going to take some white. Here's my blue, a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm just going to go very lightly, just graze over. Creating little wiggles and squiggles here for some texture and pattern on the tree, as well as the roots. I'm just going to go ahead and apply a thin layer of snow on some of these branches. I'm going to take a little bit more turquoise and white here. Then back over to my burnt sienna. I love the way this burnt sienna plays on the turquoise. The colors are very nice together. I'm going to take a little bit of each turquoise and burnt sienna, seeing as how they look so nice together, and I'll just kind of marble through here with some more branches. Okay, so I'm going to use my 1-inch oval mop brush again. And get some white on there. And I'm going to add, well, actually just a little bit of burnt, whoops, that's a lot. A little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of blue turquoise, but more white. And we're going to start making it look like, sort of want this to have a vintage Christmas feel to it. So just adding some snow here and there. And then a little bit of a sweep up there. That's so nice. It just looks like a little dust of snow. And then we'll come over here. A little bit back there. I like how it's a little bit darker there. It adds a bit more mood and mystery. The same thing up that side. A little bit more, so the trick is to barely touch, light drag up. Do the same thing on the base there. And because we've got lots of warm pinks back here, I'm going to use a little bit more turquoise to add the snow because they're complementary. So I'm going to start at the top, and you can use a Filbert brush or a fan brush if you want. Just a little gentle sweep and pull down here. I'm going to graze up again, very lightly there. Just need to add some shadow on this side because I just went over it. So I'll just go back to those colors, a little bit of black, turquoise, and burnt sienna. And just bring that back. Okay, well, I've got this smaller brush. I'm going to add more white this time. I will continue. It'll be easier to control. Adding the bits of snow and highlights on the rest of the tree with a smaller brush like this. going to take a little bit of more of my turquoise before I add a bit of snow on this. It'll just come in a little bit brighter white. And then blue, black, burnt sienna. Just to make that tree have a little bit, exaggerate the curve a little bit more and the thickness of it. Oh, I'm having fun with this. I love painting intuitively. I hope that you guys are getting more brave yourselves. I know a lot of you guys have been watching me for a while now, and it's kind of making your creativity come to life, I think, when you paint intuitively. You guys are telling me that you're really enjoying it, so I love to hear that, and I love to see everything you guys are painting. Be sure to tag me on Instagram. I'm just such a huge art lover, and I spent all day, everything, my brain is just so art. It's always about what I want to paint next, looking at art, and that includes photography too. I'm not much of a photographer, but I really have appreciation for it and enjoy looking at it. So just highlighting a little bit more here with the white. And I'm going to take a little bit more white, and I just thought, because it's almost Christmas time here, and I was finished. I said that I was finished with my Christmas and winter themed paintings, but I just can't help myself. I wanted to do one more today. Kind of the mood just struck me. I'm feeling that Christmas magic, I guess, which is nice because I wasn't sure if I was going to this year with everything going on, but I love Christmas and winter. So just add a few little white blobs there. First of all, they just look like little blobs, but we're going to make them some little pretty lights or decorations. Not quite sure yet, but I know I want to have another highlight of snow here. So as the paint starts to dry, it dries a little bit darker. So I'm going to go in and apply another highlight here. Again, it's just slightly, my white slightly tinted with a bit of that burnt sienna. Telling you guys, this brush is so much fun to use. If you're someone that really doesn't enjoy painting foliage, and you just don't really get it and don't know how to do it, and if you've almost given up, try this brush first. I guarantee you're gonna love it. Another soft little sweep here. Have it feel like it's maybe a frozen over lake. Maybe it's like a skating rink. I don't know. Frozen over pond. I'm gonna start adding some snow on top of these bushes here. And again, I've got that warm background. So let's go ahead and pick up our turquoise and tint our white with that. A little bit more. I feel like I just want to have a little bit more. There we go. Soften this down here as well. Okay, and now I'll add another layer. Push more into the white. want to have some more trees or bushes over here. I think I'm just gonna, while I've got this brush, I'll use it and just paint some foliage first and then go from there. Start at the top here. There's still something like that, and then we'll take some white. Gonna need to reload my white here pretty soon. Let's add this coming right over top. Okay, so I've got a little bit more white here to work with, and I'm just going to tap really lightly. So remember, with acrylic paint, everything is going to dry a little bit darker. So you want to make sure that you check back the next day, or you're just a little bit more, be a little bit generous when adding your white for your highlights and your snow. Just add a light little layer over there. And just a little bit here too, just to make it stand out just a little bit less. I really want to create this soft feeling here in this painting. So I think what I'd like to do next is add maybe a few branches in here, and I'm going to come in, I see a little fence back there, so I'll add that eventually too. So I'm going to take some turquoise and burnt sienna here. And we're just going to see a few little branches, need a little bit more water. I've got a liner brush here that says 0. You can just use any fine tipped brush you feel comfortable with. I'm not going to add too much because I really like all the snow-covered branches. I like the feel that we've got there. Take just a little bit more white though, and add some snow to this branch. Make sure that it's covered with snow too. You really want to have it on the tip of your brush. I like applying it thick like this because it gives it more of a 3D look. Once it's dry, you'll be able to feel that, and it adds a little bit more life to the paintings. Go back over to my burnt sienna and just bring that back in there, and then add a little bit right there to that one. And what I also want to do is just add a little bit more. I'm going to pick my light to be right there, like my sunlight, so I'll just add a little bit of soft white right there, and a little bit of neon yellow with the white, and just add a little reflection of it right there in the water. A little wiggle, and a line down like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a little scoop of that on the end of my brush and add some over on top of these lights here. And I'm going to take my little round brush here with a little bit more yellow. And I'm going to scumble around, making them look like they're glowing. Just creating that soft, soft glow. And then dabbing a little bit more white in the center, wherever I need to. And then I always like to do a little pull and flick like this in a few areas just to give it icicle look or tinsel. Most likely icicles being outside here. Some people put tinsel on their trees outside, but okay, so now I really want to add my fence. So I'm going to take those dark colors again. Burnt sienna, blue turquoise, and a bit of black. And I'll just start adding little lines. Get larger and larger towards us. And then closer together, smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, then I'm going to add some snow. I'll add the snow on this side. Right, we've got our light coming from there. And it's more in shadow over here, but we can just see a little bit. Back over to my dark colors. And I'll just do 2 boards running through. Then we'll add some snow. Reapply wherever we need to on our posts. So you see I've got a good amount here. Quite a good amount on the tip of my brush to work with. And then just have it just softly disappear there. Okay, I'm going to add a little bridge back there. I'll take some turquoise and some burnt sienna, and we'll just keep it really simple and just do a slight curve. Take a little bit of white with some water to loosen that paint up. And we'll run through it like that. And then a little reflection in the water. Missed the mark a little bit right there. You can catch that right away and take it off. like I want to have a little branch that comes out right here. And just add a bit more snow. I can even add some grass in here, frosty or snow-covered bits of grass. Just coming in with a little bit more of my weight here. I'm going to take another mop brush here. This one's an angle. No, I'm not picking this one for a specific reason. My oval ones that I was using before are just too wet and saturated now. I'm just going to add another little bit of a highlight here. I want to make sure that it dries bright enough. And right back here, I want to add a little tree that doesn't have any foliage on it, just branches. So I'm just going to take a bit of water, burnt sienna, and turquoise. Just start adding some, try to make these as delicate as I can. I'll have a group of 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Take a little bit of white here. I'll carefully add a little highlight and some snow. Should get a little bit of my soft yellow here. I think that would look nice. So a few more areas here to the tree to make it glow with this very soft, kind of like a lemon meringue color. Very pretty with turquoise and of course all the other colors. All those other pastel colors. I'm going to just add a little bit more not turquoise, the burnt sienna, sorry. Just towards us here in the foreground. Okay, I'm going to call this one all done. This was really, really fun, relaxing, and calming to paint. I hope you guys want to paint along and that you enjoyed this video. Happy painting, everybody. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and I'll see you all soon in another video. Bye!